Ladies, this next segment is for you because as women, we typically have a number of unique challenges when it comes to money. Since March is Women's History Month, our next guest says it's a good time to discuss these issues and help us learn how to navigate them. Welcome financial advisor Rob Wilson of Wilson Insight and regular Money Monday contributor. And I think we just need to get right into this because you have some facts that were kind of, I don't know, surprising to me.
Yeah, we really got to set the stage here. And the first thing is that there is a definite pay disparity. It is a real thing. So women do make about 80 cents on the dollar when compared with men. Now, some of this is because women are disproportionately represented in so-called pink collar jobs like, teaching or nursing, which, tend to pay a little bit less. But even when you look at a job to job comparison, you do still see that disparity there. And so it's really, really something that we have to deal with. You also have to think about the time that women spend out of the workforce. So women spend on average 11 years out of the workforce. So whether that's to care for children or whether it's to care for older parents and other relatives. And so when you think about that amount of time out of the workforce, that can be $500,000 or $600,000 that's not going into a retirement plan over that time.
That was the surprising part to me. I mean, even just taking time off from maternity leave myself, I mean, that was a good chunk of time not spent at work. So it's really interesting to hear about that.
Absolutely. So we also have an issue where women tend to live longer than men. And so there's a stat out there that says about at least 50% of women are going to be widows at some point in their life. Now, I cannot confirm or deny whether this is because women worry their husbands to death. I don't know if that's actually the cause or not. There's still some studies, that are going on, but the fact remains that women live longer than men. And so you're going to have to be responsible. Women are going to be responsible for their own finances at some point. I
tell my husband that I am not a nag. I am the house manager.
Right. That's a good euphemistic way to put that. And the last thing, not so great to talk about, but 50% of marriages do end in divorce.
Right.
And so again, at some point, you may come into the situation where you got to be responsible for your own financial well-being.
Okay, so one other thing we want to talk about for sure is women are making moves. There is good news in regards to the income scale.
There definitely is some good news. So you see a lot more women pursuing higher education, more advanced degrees. And so for the last 8 years, women have actually obtained the majority of doctoral degrees in the United States. As a matter of fact, they've got the majority of all advanced degrees, whether it be associates or bachelors. And so you got to think if you're pursuing higher education, you're eventually going to get paid more as well. You also have more women in the boardroom. So right now you have 27 women who are CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, which might not sound like a huge number, but historically it's fantastic to have that many women leading the largest companies in the country. And so that's fantastic. And so more women are on the move. You've got more women who are earning more than their husbands. Now, this might create some interesting conversations at the dinner table, but when you do see that women are earning more than their husbands, you see that they're putting their financial well-being as a more priority.
Interesting. And I know that you were talking a little bit about businesses too, the businesses that women tend to get into or open up themselves in relation to kind of being a setback.
Absolutely. So when you see the number of businesses being created, women are creating the majority of those businesses. As a matter of fact, because it's not just enough to open the business, you want to actually be making money.
Right.
Well, over the last couple of years, women-owned businesses, the revenue has increased about 35%, whereas overall businesses increased their revenue by about 27%. So not only starting more businesses, they're actually making more money in those businesses.
I like that. Women on the move, for sure. You do say, though, that there is more work to do. And when we heard those first statistics, you can see why.
Yeah, that shows you that there's more work to do. The number one advice that I give women, and look, of my non-athlete clients, about 90% of my clients are women, because I think women are more apt to go and seek out and actually listen to advice.
Right.
So the number one tip that I give is you have to start to negotiate. Where I see a lot of women go wrong, and it's not everyone, but typically you see women when they get a new job or something like that, they don't negotiate their salary. And if you particularly don't negotiate your first salary, you're sort of setting yourself up to be underpaid throughout the rest of your career. There was a study that came out. Men tend to look at negotiation more as a sport. So like boxing or football or something like that. Women, when they describe negotiation, it was kind of like getting a root canal. So look, it's not the end of it's not the end of the world if you negotiate. You're not a bad person for asking for more money, but you have to ask for it if you're ever going to get it. That's the number one tip.
I think that is a really good point, that if you don't start off on the higher end and pushing for it,
you're behind the 8 ball.
Yeah. And so what else? Where else do we have room to improve?
So the second thing is, you really want women to start to pursue higher paying jobs. Look, it doesn't just have to be about the good old boys club anymore. So I think that traditionally you saw women maybe shy away from technology or banking or some of the other industries which might pay more. So you don't have to be disproportionately represented in these pink collar jobs. You can pursue and obtain and do extremely well in these higher paying jobs.
And you say to take charge of your career as well.
Yeah, and what I mean by this is one good thing to do is really coordinate with your spouse. So when we're talking about all of that time that you spend out of the workforce, maybe if you let it be known that, hey, you've got career goals as well. There are some things that you want to accomplish. Perhaps you can coordinate where maybe the husband also spends some time out of the workforce so that it doesn't always have to fall on the woman to be out of the workforce. And so if you can coordinate, you take control, you plan, I think you'll be better off in the long run.
Well, and I think too, some businesses are recognizing that when we're seeing parental leave where the fathers and the husbands are able to take that time off and be home with the
Absolutely.
kids as well.
That is a huge new development where the man can actually take some time off to care for their young child. And that just releases so much of the burden from the woman that you can both be earning money, putting money in your retirement account, and building wealth over time.
You get us, Rob. Thank you. Thanks as always to Rob Wilson of Wilson Insight and regular Money Monday contributor here on PTL.